So that causes a confusion, there will be duplication of medicine. There will be duplication of medicine. The same medicine is being given in different names, and patient is consuming. And what will happen? It may lead it to the overdose of the medicine. So please try to understand this point. And to whom you are doing, first of all, I ask you this question: to your own community. Your knowledge you are using for your own community welfareness. Who is this community? It may be your mother, your father, or somebody else very related to you, or your friends. So they are not using medicines properly because they don't know how to use it. If everything is known to everybody, then there's no need of anybody. So I need a TV technician, I need an electrician, I need a computer specialist. Do I need or not? We need in all these things. So we are live with each other. Like that, pharmacist also is required, and drug information is very, very important. And he can look at the patient and customize the drug use and find out whether it's overuse, underuse, or therapeutic duplication is there, and all these things. He will sort it out. So you have to encourage the pharmacist to practice this thing. Of course, drug interactions, drug interactions, drug food interactions, drug disease interactions. All these things are the technical matters. The pharmacist can understand very easily because he is trained in that. He got a training in that. And clinical abuse and misuse, all these things have to be looked into these things. Can I have the next slide, please? So the promotional, I told you very clearly in the beginning of the saying, the drugs are not very much required. Everyone, every time. They are required when there is a necessity, when there is a need. So rational use of drugs. This is for all the healthcare professionals. They should think rationally and admit it, because drugs are going to do a great harm to the health. They are going to do a great harm to the health if they are used for several years. For example, paracetamol, you go on taking paracetamol, what will happen? One day your liver will go off. You take aspirin every day, what will happen? The kidney will fail, and then there will be a lot of acid in your stomach. So these things we have to do it through patient counseling. Can I have the next slide, please? So informing the patients about the drug, disease, and lifestyle is the prime responsibility of the pharmacist, especially community pharmacist. Look at the scenario in our country. Look at in your own Savantwadi medical shop. You go and see whether the patient, whether the public or the patient is getting proper information about drug, disease, and lifestyle. If no, why no? You try to study this. And can your teachers, can yourself supplement that for a few time? That's what the Community Connect program is there. So you can go, and your teachers are very, very knowledgeable, but they are confining it to only academics. They are not looking at the Savantwadi community. That's why Savantwadi people say that what is pharmacy? They don't know. There is no identity. For a nurse, there is identity. For a doctor, there is identity. There is no identity for pharmacists. This is because you run away from the patients. Your teachers run away from the patients. They should go near the patients, and they have to find out. And with authority, they have to tell that you are a registered pharmacist. What for? Registered medical practitioner, registered nurse, registered pharmacist. What for you are registered? To provide services, to provide professional activities. So friends, please come out of that shell. Please come out of the shell and open your eyes. Look where people are suffering, and you can help them. And gradually, they also will recognize you. They also will give you respect. They also will give you money. Lot of money can be earned, more than the salary you can earn. Because such a model I have seen in Edinburgh, in UK. My report I have given on file, study of community pharmacy in the UK. A PDF file I have shared. Please go through that PDF file, then you will understand how they are doing it. So I spent 3 weeks under the FIB WHO scholarship of the pharma bridge. You can also go for pharma bridge. You are eligible. Why don't you apply for that? And you should always have the patience. See, I have seen so many countries. I am not a very rich fellow. I am a self-made man. And whatever I have earned, I have come out my own money. And how do I arrange the money for all these things? In the private colleges where they don't pay salaries also, appropriate salaries also. So I had a desire to go see the world and how the pharmacy is doing. I went for several reasons and I observed that the pharmacists are working for the betterment of the patient and they are getting respect and they are giving all the care and concern for the patient. So please take care of your parents, take care of your children. Care means not like that, not ordinary pharmaceutical care. You start from home. Good things begin from home. So when you go on giving them care, then they will, then they when they are healthy, they will tell others. Say, my husband is a pharmacist, my wife is a pharmacist. She tells that. So like that image you have to build. When are you going to build image? I have already gone and I have spent force. Another 2, 3 years, I'm out of the profession and I'm out of this world. So this is my final call to you, all of you. Please, friends, look at your profession and develop it. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, this is all explained. Next slide, please. So unethical practice should never be done. I told you why. And it will not give you good name or the same. If you are deceiving the people, you can continue to deceive up to limit. The people are going to understand what you are and then they want to judge you. I'll tell you in this. See, once upon a time, my father was a community pharmacist, and I was a very young boy. In 1955, our medical shop was established in Harihar, new medical shop. Vijay might have seen that. It is when he goes to the Harihar, there is a Kirloskar circle is there, and then my medical shop stands there. My father was not a pharmacist like you and me and all. He was a SSLC dropout. In those times, 1955, Drug Control Department wanted the drug pharmacist to be. So they made a crash course of 3 weeks. 3 weeks crash course they did. And they give license to all the people. And among this, one of the pharmacists was my father. So when he came into this thing, he made a determination. Let me learn, 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 learn. So although he was not having a proper formal education, he learned and his knowledge was so severe that even the doctors used to consult him. How he learned, he might have understood. He used to be friend with the medical representatives. In those days, medical representatives used to come and see the doctor and also the medical shop, because medical shop where they used to keep their stocks. So in that process, my father befriended with the medical this thing, and he used to ask, what did you discuss with the doctor? So that's also important for him because he can also supplement. So like that, he studied, and he became a well knowledgeable pharmacist for the local doctors. Local doctors used to consult him. And also he was highly ethical, and all the qualities, whatever I see good in me is due to him only. And what he did is, there was a Hafkin Institute in Pune, you might have heard of it. In those times, it used to make the anti-snake venom injection, anti-snake venom antibodies, I think. Yeah. And this was costing 500 rupees in those days, 1963. And it has a very short expiry, and there is no replacement for expiry in those times. But still then, he used to keep that injection and he used to save lives. People in and around villages, and even is a fellow pharmacist, used to direct to my father's shop for buying a Hopkins anti-snake venom, anti-snake antibodies for the snake venom. I think snake bite cases. So like that, several times the people used to come and knock the door at night times, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And my father used to go and give that injection and come back. So, like that, he was known in the community. And in his career, he went on becoming very rich and rich and rich. And after the richness comes, he started diversifying. He diversified into several other businesses, and he overdid it, and he made it such a big thing that it was a mess. And some people, employees, cheated him, and he became bankrupt. He was in the streets, and then he remembered his medical shop. So I should not forget. Then he started attending his medical shop. When he attended, his medical shop was also empty because the employees had cheated him, taken all the stocks and left a lot of payment to the distributors and all. And people were knowing about it. People were knowing about it. They were also knowing the nature of the knife. Then they thought that this man should be there in the business. So we will make him remain in the business. How? They used to come with a prescription, and they used to check in my medical shop. If that is there, then they used to buy. The first priority for 7, 8 months in Harrier in 1963, the Neo Medical was the first choice because they knew they wanted to help Nagappa because Nagappa has helped them in their difficult times, have guided them, have helped them with the ethics, the mind of ethics. So that's why the people used to haunt him, and within 6 months or 7 months, he reviewed his business. All the distributor friends, everybody helped him, and he reviewed his business. What I'm telling you is, please understand that community, nobody cares. Nobody is observing us. Like that attitude, usually we get on the face. But community is very, very live, observing your movements and making opinion about you, and they will come to you back. If you are a good person, if you are a bad person, they will never come back to you. Please understand that community pharmacy is the secret of community pharmacy is if you are ethical, if you are doing good things to the public, and if you are friendly, then you have a career, wonderful career. How Raj Vaidya is successful, how in Bombay one pharmacy is there, Bhandarkar pharmacy. My student has opened it's a family business for him for 60 years, 70 years on the railway station. There is East and West, I don't know. Bhandarkar medical shop is there. A young man who did his PharmD went to Canada and worked for 6 years, and then came back to India and is holding the uh, pharmacy there. He wanted to do some experiments, and we did some experiments with the Community Connect program, and he was successful. Now I want to remember him on the stage. If you go to Bombay, if you go to this thing, Bhandarkar medical shop, just in front of the railway station, it is there. Go and meet him and greet him, and you will understand what type of man he is. So, like this, not only he, his father, his forefather, his grandfather, all of them, they have made that business. So, that's the thing. And then one should not indulge in, okay, forget this advertising and all these things. You all know that what is good and what is bad. You have to do the good things only. Yeah, next slide, please. So punishment, if you do wrong thing, and if you are caught by the law, you are likely liable to punish. Even though you are a pharmacist, even though you say that I am not important because I just buy medicines from others and sell to something like that, they will not leave. The law is very clear. If you are doing a wrong thing, if you are not doing the proper thing, and if you are done an illegal thing, then if you are caught in the community pharmacy practice, you are liable to punishment. This is what the law says. Yeah, next slide, please. So this is the declaration one has to give. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is the way you have to make your rights. So one interesting thing, next slide, please. Come out of this. So she is the lady called as Devayani Babode. She came to me in 2010 with an ambition to do a pharmacy practice-based project, and and she was referred by my student from Bits Pilani, Babode. Babode came to me, and she was doing her M.Pharm in pharmaceutical care from the neighboring country. She went to neighboring country, and after B.Pharm, she was attracted to do this. In India, there was no possibility, so she went to Nepal. And in her third semester, she came and she chosen. She heard that I am working in that area, and with his brother Girish Bende. Actually, they are Girish Bende, Bhavani, Devyani Bende, and she got married to Bhavade. So that's a different thing. And then she came to me, and I told her that you have to go in Manipal, 6 months project, you have to do it. You have to go and select 120 patients in the community, in the open community. It was a big challenge for her. She was not knowing Kannada or Konkani or anything. She was knowing Marathi. So Marathi speaking girl came there and managed herself took all the problems, and then she grew up like anything. And she had 120 patients, and she divided the 120 patients into 60 for each. One group she said that pharmaceutical care group, and the second group, standard care group. She compared the care groups, and then at the end of the year, she completed her degree. And after completing her degree, she opened a pharmaceutical care center. In that she used to contact doctors. She used to contact patients, home care. She used to monitor diabetes. She used to monitor the blood pressure. Who is doing all these things? Nobody is doing. A patient is orphan. Patient is orphan in our country because nobody takes care of the patients. If you go to doctor, he will say, I will take care of you. You take these medicines and come and meet me after some time. And then if it is not good, he will make the dose up and down, or he will change the drug. So like that only he is experimenting, because how many patients he can see? How many patients one doctor can possibly see? So you are in large number, you take that responsibility. You do that work. Okay? So this is where you have to develop and finalize the things. And the things are like that. So her clinic was opened, and 1 year it ran, and it made a waste. And then afterwards, she had other family business, so she temporarily closed. And then there are many people who got inspiration from her and doing such type of services across the society, but not as per the law, because in 2010 there was no pharmacy practice guidelines, rules are it came in 2015, but she did it in 2010. And she made a study also, and she compared the quality of life of pharmaceutical care treated patients and pharmaceutical standard care patients. Next slide, please. So this is her study, and we did not publish anywhere for the purpose that it becomes copyright and all, because we are. And there is a instrument available in London. A professor has made that is called as uh, ADQUIL, Audit Diabetes Mellitus Type 2 Quality of Life. Accordingly, she studied this, and she got a very stunning results. The pharmaceutical care definitely improved, and it is better than standard care. So, friends, this is the study which is a landmark study according to me, and we went further. Can I have the next slide, please? Can close this. Can I have the next slide, please? So this is the pharmaceutical care cards. So in the front page, you have the patient details and the medicines he takes and other thing. On the next slide, next slide, please. On the flip side, the patient details are entered, and this card is left to the patients, because we have got two models. One is who giving services in the medical shop, actual medical shop, and also in the home medication review. In the another model, we go to the home and give the care. So in this model, we used to use this patient cards, and this card used to be we leave it at the patient home, and then we used to give periodical visits. Every time, every day, we need not visit. Once in a week, we used to visit and then enter those things and leave the card with the patient himself or herself. Patient used to see and get motivated that my BP is okay, my sugar is okay, my BMI is okay, or it's not okay, what I have to do. So, like that, motivation is very important for the patients. Can I have the next slide, please? So, I have already, this is the pharmaceutical care definitions, which we already defined as per the law. Next one. Next slide, please. This is a very important slide proposed by WHO FIP in the second chapter of the handbook of the pharmaceutical care, pharmacy practice. This complete document I have given in the this thing, and when it is with your principal, I think, so you can share with you all. You go to the second chapter, and I will explain you the pharmaceutical care. This book is written by all the pharmacists of 500 and odd pharmacists from all across the world. From India, Guru Mohanta from Annamala University, and B.G. Nagavi, Professor B.G. Nagavi are the authors or contributors to this organization. Like that, you will see every country, WHO, FAP countries, and then they have contributed to this. And here the patient will come to a pharmacist and presents himself for the service or for a problem or the prescription medicines. While giving the prescriptions, the pharmacist will not just dispense the medicine and wash his hands. No, he will have an interaction with the patient. So, what for this medicine is prescribed, he will ask, who is your doctor, and what is he also assess the whether the patient is rich and poor. If he is rich, then whatever prescribed can be given. If he is a poor, then we have to think for generic medicines which are cheaper, and then we can do it. That is our priority, and we have to do it. There are all controversies in our country whether we can substitute a product or not. Why we can't substitute? See, because it is the same formula based on the Indian pharmacopoeia or Indian British pharmacopoeia or United States pharmacopoeia. Same medicine, we can, same thing, but in a different name. Generic medicines are to be promoted because that will save money to the patient. Primarily, it will save money to the patient, and then all these things are the very, very important. And then after studying the patient from the aspect of disease, lifestyle, and the drug factors, he will turn on to the and will prepare while interaction. After interaction, he will learn so many things, and using his knowledge, he prepares a customized plan for that prescription medicine patient, and he will explain to the patient what is the medicines, how to use it, what can happen if they are not used properly. All those things he will explain, and further he will ask the patient to go home and see him in the next 10 days, 7 days, whatever the convenient time is. Patient will go and uh, comes back with the to see the pharmacist as per the instruction of the pharmacist. And at that time, the pharmacist will look into the patient condition and assesses the patient condition. And then he says that, is there any problem? If there is a problem, he will say a problem. If it is related to drug, a pharmacist has to resolve it. And if it is a diagnostic problem, then he will ask the doctors to correct the prescription or whatever it is there. So then also it is the doctor's issue. And nursing issues, similarly, nursing issues are there. Nurses are to be informed. And you have to refer the patient to go and see a nurse, go and see a doctor, because this is not the purview of the pharmacist. So if it's the drug-related issue, then he can solve it. So like that, 3 months, he has to ask the patient to rotate. Means monthly 3 to 4 visits, like that 3 months, 9 to 10 visits. What will happen to the patient? In these 10 visits, the patient will become knowledgeable about the drug, disease, and lifestyle he is suffering from, and what he has to do and what he has not to do. And ultimately, the goal is preparing the patient for the self management of the patient himself for his own condition and other things. So that's why this is the FIP WHO model, very interesting. We have to follow. Can I have the next slide, please? Please, someone read this case study for me.
Yes, any student or participant.
Sir, I am reading it.
Okay.
Mrs. W.
Please, Rishi Rameshan, you will please introduce yourself.
Okay, sir. Myself, Dr. Prashant Mali. Here I am reading the case studies presented over here. Mrs. W, a 53-year-old woman, has had gastrointestinal acid-related disorder, that is GORD, diagnosed by endoscopy. Mrs. W has a history of asthma, hypertension, duodenal ulcer, that is DU. Her current drug therapy includes amlodipine, amlodipine 10 mg in the morning, salbutamol inhaler 2 puffs as required, a beclomethasone inhaler 200 mg twice daily, and theophylline 300 mg twice daily. Mrs. W has recently undergone successfully H. pylori eradication therapy, which has been confirmed by carbon urea breath test. Mrs. W smokes 10 cigarettes a day, has a body mass index of 35, and does not drink alcohol. So this is the case studies. Yes, sir, please.
Thank you for reading the case. And I want to go for the next slide. Whenever a case is presented to you, you have to divide the case into lifestyle factors and drug factors and the disease factors. Let us look into lifestyle factors. As the patient is obese, she has to lose weight. Suppose if you ask her to lose weight, you are obese, she will not do it. See, whenever you give a counseling, you have to practically educate the patient, and he or she should understand why I have been counseled like this. She had a problem of GORD. In GORD, terrific burning sensation in the esophagus happens whenever the acid bumps back into the esophagus. GORD is a reflux disorder. So acid is secreted and it comes into it reflexes into the esophagus, and the pH of the acid is around 2. Sometimes stomach pH is pure hydrochloric acid, and it is very corrosive and very painful. Now we can correlate her smoking habit with the GORD episodes. You can tell the patients, you please reduce the cigarettes 10 to 5 and see how many episodes of GORD reflex disorders are happening per day. So when she reduces the cigarettes, it will come down because nicotine is a sphincter. There is a sphincter muscle which controls the movement of the entry of the acid into the esophagus. If it is relaxed, more easily flow off. Whenever then we can explain her that you reduce the smoking and see that is there any reduction in the burning sensations. she will do it. Practically, she will do it. And she will observe that the episodes of burning sensation have come down. Now she understands that more and more cigarette I smoke, more and more burning sensation is there. This is the way you have to counsel a patient. You have to correlate them. Then, then what she does? She will stop that cigarette because there is a choice for her: burning sensation, pain, or the smoking pleasure. So ultimately, she will quit the smoking. So this is how we have to this. And let us talk about the drug factors. Drug factors is a technical matter. When doctor prescribes medicine, he will not know elaborately that what are the complete profile of the molecule. He is been detailed, detailing it is called detailed by the medical representative of the particular manufacturer that this medicine is good for hypertension, this medicine is better than this is the latest molecule, this is having less dose, all these things will be mentioned. But he will not be mentioning all these things. This elaborate knowledge, extensive knowledge is known to pharmacists because you study pharmaceutics, you study pharmacokinetics, you study so many things, pharmacology, and all those things you study. And you can refer back whenever there's a doubt, you can refer back and find out quickly, you can resolve an issue. For a doctor, it is not so simple because he has studied human anatomy more than the physiology. He might have studied more of a diagnosis. All those things he is expert, but he is not expert in the matter of drugs. Who is the expert? Pharmacists are the experts. They can only help the patients. They can only help the doctors. They can only play a role in the healthcare team as an experts in medicine. So the doctor doesn't know that the medicine he is prescribing, amlodipine, is a calcium channel blocker and also a smooth muscle, sphincter muscle relaxant. So now, what for the amlodipine he is giving to the patient? Anyone can tell me? Why amlodipine he is prescribing?
For anti-hypertension.
Anti-hypertension. Is the only medicine, amlodipine is the only medicine available for management of hypertension? There are 10 or more new approaches, new medicines available for the treatment of the management of hypertension. So we have to inform the doctor, we have to alert the doctor, look doctor, you are prescribing amlodipine, she is suffering from GORD and there is a problem for her. So can you replace the medicine with some other safer medicine which will not aggravate her burning sensation? The doctor will soon realize and he will change it to the safer medicines like diuretics can be given, some other thing can be given. That way you are going to gain respect and he will be wondering how pharmacists know about all these things because you have learned so many things and it is you have to use it now. When you use such knowledge in every aspect, the doctor will call you back. Tell me this, tell me that, what is this? Give me information. Because doctor also want to be successful. He doesn't want to become a one-day success and runaway success and all. Continuously he must practice his medicine. And for his practicing his medicine, he is depending on medical representatives, that is pharmaceutical industry, product-centered market. Now you are a person who has got no affiliations to any pharmaceutical industry. You are an independent professional. It is better to take ideas, information from you rather than a pharmaceutical industry who has got a self-interest. So now You have to establish in the society as drug information specialist, and then only the things are going to change in this country. Further, what will happen? The disease factors. In the disease factors, what happened? The patients are in the disease factors. The patients are developing new diseases due to one disease. For example, in this case, due to GORD, because acid fumes will enter the esophagus and then they can also enter the windpipe. And after they enter the windpipe, they cause a stimulation and cause a asthma. Asthma is initiated there. So now, how to overcome that? Now it is being cured. The H. pylori infection is cured by eradication of urea blood test. What is the urea blood test? In the urea blood test, they will ask you to take around 5 grams of radio labeled urea, and the H. pylori produces an enzyme called as urease. We do not produce, human beings do not produce urease, and this urease is able to break down the urea into ammonia and carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is there and it can be detected. It is radio labeled, it can be detected by scintillography. Scintillating, and they will do the test. When they do the test, if it is turns to be negative, after feeding with the radio labeled urea, then it clearly says that urea is not there and H. pylori is not there. It has been eradicated. For eradication of H. pylori, you have to give antibiotics. That's a different matter. So after eradication, the problem of the patient have been come out. Now she is not giving more and more acid. Hyperacidity is not there. So now the acidity is not there and calcium channel blockers have come down. She has also reduced smoking. Now what is the thing? Now she is taking asthma under the impression that she is having asthma. The asthma can be tested in the pharmacy also. You have a small instrument called as P flow meters. You have to ask the patient to blow it. If she blows it, and you can estimate the respiratory, you can measure the respiratory volumes. There is a cutoff respiratory volume for asthma or not. And if she has in her test, she passes the cutoff volume and proves to be she's having a better respiratory volumes. She has not no asthma. Then you can call the doctor. You can tell that, sir, I have measured the respiratory volumes and it is more than the cutoff values. So I think she may not be having asthma. Please review at your end and also send me the report. Then the pharmacist will then the doctor will also have a 3-4 meter in his chamber and he will also measure. When he finds that it is a very surprising thing for the patient, he can cancel all those anti-asthmatic drugs. There is no need for anti-asthmatic. The asthma was cured with the episodes of GORD going down. Asthma also is not there. Then he will remove all the medicines for asthma from our prescriptions. What a great relief. Patient is relieved from the anti-asthma, and also good news are giving that he and she have got no more asthma. So like that, theophylline will be cut off and all the inhaler puffs will be cut off. And what a saving for the patient, what a saving for the country. It is a win-win-win-win-win-win situation. So we have to do with our knowledge, we can do that. Please try to do that always. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, this is a home medication review. In this, we used to go to homes and help the patients in their conditions. One of the case I would like to discuss with you. We, in our course of this thing, we were going in Manipal, and we went to a home where where the patient is a 70-year-old lady, her husband is 75, both are weak, and both children, they got good children, educated them, they went to abroad and earning a lot of money, and they are sending the money to these people. They have money, but they don't have a facility. There's nobody to look after. So she was bedridden when we went there with our team, 7, 8 people, we went there. She was bedridden and unable to walk up. And the domestic help also was absent on that day. She was really, really in a pathetic condition. Her husband, also 75-year-old, he is also a geriatric person. He also have weakness and all these things. And we asked them to show the medicines they are taking and prescriptions. When I took their prescription, to my surprise, it was Bicozoles, B complex injection, Neurobion injection twice a week, and all minerals supplements were there, except the protein. She was, and I could immediately think of that she is deficient in protein. Why such a thought came to my mind? I thought several times. My answer came to me like this. See, whenever you are going in Savantwadi, if I come there, if I ask somebody in a road how to go to your college, what he will do? He will guide me properly with enthusiasm. Because someone is asking for me the help. So it's a human nature. When you ask for help, you will feel very much happy to help. So he will guide you how to go, and also he will come in your way in a good manner, because gratification you get it after helping the people. You help somebody, you will be happy. There's a lot of human psychology is involved in this very complicated matter, and like that, the patient will be happy when you guide them properly. I was telling about the case and what happened. So we told that. So I observed that she is not, and I checked her diet chart. You must always ask the diet chart, and you will find in 90% of the patients in India are protein deficients. Vegetarians, especially vegetarians, are protein deficient. They are eating the carbohydrates in several forms, ignoring and not eating the proteins. As a result of it, protein deficiency will be there. They will be having weakness, lethargy, all those signs and symptoms of the protein deficiency are there. So what we did is we told her that you take a fistful of moong. Moong, moong. You understand what is moong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sabut moong, soak it in water, eat it in the morning for 15 days. When we come next time, we'll check you. So she did it very meticulously. Day after day, her health improved and she became energetic. See, she was having money, she was visiting doctors, and nobody has the time to look at her nutrition status. So, as a concerned person, when I went there, after looking at their suffering, my knowledge came to my help. I understood clearly a malnutrition case. We had to supplement the protein. I could have told her that you drink Horlicks, you take Ensure, because they had money. But I never told it. I told that you take one fistful of moong every day. This moong is a very wonderful thing. This protein is a very wonderful thing. Those who are having deficiency, if you give them, they come into lives. Their life becomes very, very wonderful. So they jump into actions. So when we went next time, a strange thing has happened. The lady was very healthy looking, and then she made tea for all of us. She was bedridden with the first visit. In the second visit, she was walking all around, and she is taking care of her husband also. See, the protein miracle. So like that, you can do many miracles, and you can earn you can do this thing. So this is what the home medication review is. You have to go to the homes and find out how their drugs are used, how they are stored. Several corrections you can make it because you know the correct things. The patient doesn't know the correct things. So next slide, please. So this is patient-centric care. Physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals like you have got physiotherapists, or so many other paramedicals are there. All of them should do a patient-centric care. Next slide, please. So we have to make it. We are in a team. We are in a society. We are in the world of cooperation. So we have to raise to the occasion. We have to raise to the occasion. We must request the doctors and nurses and also the patients, and we have to work together like a team. So why home medication review is important. So because it gives us direct observation and convenient for the patients. Lot of money is saved for the patients. So many advantages. There can be innumerable answers for this. A good question in the examination, and to test the capacity of the students, how much extent he can go in the home medication review. For the latter side, please go to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So, next slide, please. Change the slide, sir. Change the slide. So this is a wonderful photo which I proudly present in front of you. So we went to a patient home, and patient is taken care by the two pharmacists and measuring their BP, measuring their blood sugar, helping them, and all those things. Can I have the next slide, please? There are a few more photographs. It's the end of my talk. Yeah. Can I have the next slide? See, these are all the home medication reviews. So you should also, I'm showing this to you because you should also go to the patient's home and help. Another model is the medical shop model, where you will go to a medical shop and in the evening you can do it, the BP and monitoring and help the patients. So next slide, please. I think the time has come to thank you for patiently listening an elaborate discussion of mine. Thank you very much. These are all the studies done, home medication review studies done across the world and proved to be better than standard care in our country. Can I have the next slide, please? Yes, so many studies are there. So success comes from attitude, knowledge, practice, and skills. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I request to our respected Dr. Mahadev Bhatt, sir, to continue his session.
Hello, good morning, everybody. And